Okay, we're here with our Airforce BIGTEX Texan. This gun started life as an Airforce Texan, and as a joint venture, Eric with Adventures Afield and myself, we decided to build a long-range, high-powered hunter. So we took the Airforce Texan, awesome platform for a gun, and we've done quite a few modifications to it. The most obvious modification is the stock. We had Doug Russell with Mad Dog Stocks custom make us a bench rest stock for this gun. And then we had a custom barrel made, and it is a 40-inch barrel. It's 6 inches longer than the stock barrel. It is still a 257 barrel. And we have a pre-tensioned carbon fiber sleeve on the barrel to tension the barrel to make it stiffer. It does have some internal modifications, which we'll discuss further later, still top secret. And then we've got a carbon fiber tank on it. Internally, it's still mostly as it came from the factory. But today what we're wanting to do is I mounted this Nico Sterling. It's a Target Master, really nice scope. But we need a first focal plane to really be suited to what we want to use the gun for, and that's extremely long range shooting for an air gun anyway. So I'm going to be popping this scope off, and we have BKL mounts, which we really like. This particular mount is the adjustable mount, which if you've seen our video on YouTube on the 500-yard shooting, this is the mount that was on that gun. And if you can see, the scope right here is setting almost horizontal and the gun is tilted up. This is how much elevation, rear elevation, we had mounted or dialed into our scope for our 500-yard shot. So we're actually going to leave that adjustment in there until we get our other scope on and get to the range. Hopefully we'll get to the range in the next week or so and do a little more extensive testing. So what we're putting on it is a Sun Optics. This is the new, they just released this model. It is a first focal plane scope, and it is their Tactical Hunter. And this particular scope is a 6x24. Their other Tactical Hunter scope, which we did a video on earlier, is a 4x14 by 44 millimeter. This particular scope is a 6x24 by 50 millimeter. Love those bikini covers. Good dustproof covers. This one has a newly designed reticle in it. This one actually has 20 points of reference below the horizontal crosshair. So what our plans are on this scope is to sight in at say 250 to 300 yards for our zero. And then we've got 20 points of reference below our horizontal crosshair for shooting. Well, we're going to start at 500, stretch it to 6, and maybe see how we do at 750. But it has enough points of reference above the horizontal crosshair that if we sight in at 300 yards, we still have plenty of hold under, if you will, for shooting as close as probably 100 yards. Now, our initial shots with this gun, and let me back up a little bit. The stock Airforce Texan that we did our videos with, we were shooting a 325 grain ballistic tip bullet made by BHD Bullets, Seth Rowland. And with the gun tweaked about as much as we could tweak it, we were getting right at 840 foot per second with a 325 grain projectile. My first shots over the chronograph with this one were all over 900 foot per second. My max shot right now is 906 foot per second with that same 325 grain slug. So we are kissing the 600 foot-pound mark right now. So we were at 500, we're bumping 600, and all we got to do is a little bit more tuning. We have plans for some custom internals for the gun, and as we get it developed further, then we'll we'll be sharing some of that and the performance of this gun as we go. So We've got our scope mounted. I've got my handy dandy levels. Airforce is really good about the precision in their duplication of all their guns. I could take a scope off of one gun on the shelf, I could put it on another gun, and it'll shoot within just a couple of clicks of the same point of impact. It's really fun to work with. So I'm going to set our level with our crosshair, and those match each other. So we're going to snug this down just a tad. Now I already know where my eye relief is because Synoptic scopes are very consistent in where they're placed on the gun. So I've gotten so used to mounting them that I can pretty much just tell you it's going to be dead on perfect when I get ready to pick the gun up. I want to even these gaps out just a little bit. Now our base is already tight, so really all I need to do is just tighten these caps. Not overly tight, just nice and snug, because the BKL rings are so precision the way they're made, you don't have to over tighten them to make sure your scope doesn't jump around. So here we have it. We've got our 6x24 Tactical Hunter, first focal plane by Synoptics, mounted on our BIGTEX custom long-range Texan. So we're going to do some testing later on, and we'll do some other videos on more details on the gun and performance and accuracy. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about any of the products that we review, or if you would like to purchase those products, contact us at Airguns of Texas. We'll be happy to take care of you. Thank you.